Jack, very nice to meet you and a pleasure to have you here in Mexico.
Nice to meet you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Hope you have a great time in the world premiere.
Man, we're already having a great time. It can only, I can't wait for the reception.
Tell me, how did the project came to you?
I heard about it and I was probably a little cautious just because it's such a sort of famous, story. But then I read this beautiful script that John Ridley wrote and I was so taken with it and realized it was such a fresh, sort of new, modern reimagining of the old story of Ben-Hur, and something that was very relatable to today's world, which people won't imagine because it's 2,000 years ago it's set, but it feels very poignant that, when we're living in a world of so much hatred and anger and animosity and a religious war and a personal war and a political war almost that's always happening around us. This is that, but it's giving us hope that there is a path of love and forgiveness and redemption. And I was sort of honoured that to be cast as Judah because it's a great character.
I think that the characters connect in a way that they're not good or bad, they're just human.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important to us because, Masala, whereas in the previous version was very much the villain and is very much a revenge story, this isn't a story about that. This is a story about love and brothers and about how do you find your way out of that anger and that hatred inside of us, and how do we find that redemptive moment and that moment of forgiveness. And the way we wanted to do that was to make it very personal and very organic, and the relationship that me and Toby had sort of as actors and the way it comes across in the movie is very modern. Times change, but people don't. We still talk to each other as human beings do. We still treat each other, in a very similar way. And I feel like all these themes felt, although, back in old Jerusalem, they feel very present in today's world. And that was nice because we found real truth in our performances, I think.
Who's working with Timur?
Amazing. Timur's a brilliant director. He's someone who's known to audiences as very much a effects-driven director or a CGI-heavy director, and this is such a break away from that for him. He wanted this to be very real. He didn't want to use effects when he didn't have to. He wanted us to be a part of it, be on those chariots, be in that slave ship, because he says for a modern audience to relate to this story, they have to believe and feel every moment, and the only way they can do that is if we are feeling every moment, which meant that we went through everything that you see.
It's funny that you said that the chariots and the boat scenes are amazing. They're shot in a way that it's not common for this type of film.
Yeah.
You have these jump cuts all the way, and that when you were in set, were you aware of how he's gonna finish the movie?
Yeah, you know what? Timur was watching a lot of YouTube and a lot of NASCAR and Formula One. He was trying to relate it to a modern audience. So by doing that, he was looking at the way cars moved and angles and shots. And he was using different means, such as not only was he shooting on film, he was shooting on GoPro cameras, on the chariots, which are these little cameras all around, trying to be very immersive. So you felt you were in the race, you were a part of the race, which I think is brilliant, on my eyes. When he told me that's what he was doing, I was like, well, that's why people are going to be excited by this new imagining of this story and this race and, everything. It felt very visceral, very real, you're in it. So that's such a cool way of making the movie.
Yeah, he was coming from producing Hardcore Henry, and he seems to be in love of GoPros right now.
He's very much a director who's always thinking forward, a very forward-thinking director, very innovative. He produced that movie Unfriended, which is all online, which is all the screens there, Hardcore Henry, all from the point of view. It's amazing. It's someone who's constantly reinventing cinema, and that's Timur to a T. He's one of the great directors in that way.
That was
that was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you, my friend.